Like, you know,
I mean, think about that. You made that sound real simple, bro. But I mean, let's be honest. You got yourself a little job. You got to get something some money. Got a relationship that's felt real grown, real quick, right?
yeah. Oh
Y'all
yeah.
got real serious. Mess around. Y'all had a baby. Yeah, all of that stuff. And how many was that? All in a year? You think 2 years?
It was all in it was all in a couple years. Like life moved really quick. And it was like I had to grow. I didn't have a choice but to grow up real quick. So and I knew Subway wasn't paying the bills. My situation wasn't where it should be. Like, yo, how am I gonna be providing for my son, this woman who I'm with? You
Yeah.
know, I'm living in a situation that isn't healthy for them. And this ain't the business, you know?
I hear that, man. And I think for a lot of guys that grow up in SoCal, the military is a realistic option because you could get stationed back home.
Yeah.
And so they look at like whether it's Virginia, whether it's Florida, whether it's I was a recruiter, right? It was like the people that wanted to join the military where I was recruiting, they wanted to come back for the Air Force base that was in town or the Coast Guard base that was in town. Because the thought of like leaving where you're home forever is what it feels like, right? Because you don't know. I mean, and that's the thing. So if you are from San Diego, I could see that being a relatively good option. Like you said, your mom worked on the base. You're there on Subway for serving up food for the sailors that are coming to get the food there, whatever it is. You can see all them. Now you're an assistant manager, so you got leadership potential, but you recognizing that it's not going the way that you want it to go. So when you go to the recruiter. Was that an easy? Did you have it? You got your degree already, right? You said you got the.
Yeah, I finally got my degree, but the thing is, the subway I worked at wasn't on the base. It was like, yeah, bruh. It was like so she the I'm gonna tell you about this
That's
subway.
a base Subway job.
No, no, no. So the lady that she knew, her kids were on the base. She worked at the CDC. And like everybody knew moms, everybody knew her, right? So she knew this lady who worked there, and the lady worked at the subway. So that's how she hooked me in. And
Okay.
the subway that I ended up transferred to the assistant manager spot, it had bulletproof glass, like 2 feet from the ceiling. And I don't know if you know about the check cashing place, but at the check cashing place, you had to slide the money under the little deal.
Yeah.
It had that joint, and you put the sandwich in like this little turnstile joint to turn the sandwich around after yeah. Oh, bruh. It was
That part.
yeah, it was like that. There was one way in, one way out.
I'm not dying for no sandwich, bro.
It was like that. Like you couldn't, and the employees who I work with like will always leave the back door open. So it was like, what are you guys doing? And you were there.
That's a
Yeah.
that's a setup waiting to happen, bro.
Yeah, and I was always the closer, so I was always there late at night by myself. Crackheads coming in, real poor people coming in.
What year was this?
This was the 90 had to be like 95, 96 when I was working in Subway. Right, I had gone. Every time I'm back in San Diego, I swing by. There's no bulletproof glass there anymore. But I remember those times. And when these the older lady would always come in. Obviously, she didn't have a lot of money. She would want she would always order like a veggie sandwich or something super cheap. And Subway back in the day, I'm sure they still have it now. They had a recipe for their sandwiches and everything else. So you had to put like a X amount of lettuce. For a foot long, it's like 5 tomatoes, 6 pickles, 8 olives, and you had to put that specific amount on there. And what people would I'd be putting that on there, right? And people would look at you crazy. You can't taste no 8 olives on a foot long, bro.
Count their olives, bro. She's like, bro, give me my olives.
Yeah, and so after they tell you like, can I get some more? You could pile as much. You could put the whole dang thing on there if you wanted to after that, but they have to ask you for more. Otherwise, because you had secret shoppers who would come in who would check to see